In the early 2000s, Marvel Comics were pretty convoluted to write for, due to decades of lore to adhere to. As such, they created a parallel universe, the Ultimate Universe, with the idea that writers would have more freedom and didn't have to worry about contradicting what came before. So in this universe, Reed Richards didn't grow up in a loving home, but an abusive one. This made him less empathetic than the regular Reed, and more cynical about the world, more aware of its minute imperfections. The Fantastic Four was eventually formed, but in a cataclysmic event called the Ultimatum Wave, Johnny and Sue's dad dies. On the funeral, Reed tries to propose to Sue, but she obviously wasn't feeling it. As such, the Fantastic Four is disbanded, and Reed goes back to live with his parents. Though an explosion explodes the house, killing everyone inside. Or so we thought. It turns out Reed killed his parents, faked his death, and started to hatch some dastardly plans. But his old allies puts a stop to that. Human Torch blasts Reed in the face with some of his signature torch powers, which leaves Reed mildly scarred and disfigured. This was the last push needed to turn Reed into the Maker. He goes on to create a perfect society with his followers, the Children of Tomorrow, in a city called the Dome. From here, he does all kinds of supervillain deeds, like Asgardian genocide, destroying Washington DC with an antimatter weapon, expanding the Dome in such a way that half of Europe was consumed by it, did brain surgery on Tony Stark to get an Infinity Gem and then left him for dead, destroying a bunch of alternate universes, and set his sight towards the main Marvel universe, Earth 616, and even goaded Nick Fury to attack it. The Maker meets Reed Richards from the Earth 616, and although this Reed has the life the Maker would wish for himself, he also sees weakness in him. One thing leads to another, and the Maker sliced into infinite pieces and scattered throughout the multiverse. Unfortunately, this leads to him existing everywhere, making him basically impossible to get rid of. The Ultimate Universe was eventually destroyed, and the only two survivors from it is Miles Morales and the Maker. Kinda poetic, the greatest hero and the worst villain.